the $2 house. Robert's life was a crumbling building, abandoned and left to decay. A father filled with love but unable to even provide a proper home for his son. Julian, an 8-year-old boy born into a world of darkness. Every night they would huddle together in a cramped rented room. As Robert's mind raced with worries about the monthly rent. If only we had a home of our own. You could sleep soundly. My son, he would whisper. His miracle appeared in the form of a faded ad on a lamppost. Urgent sale. House 327. Price just $2. The price made everyone in town laugh at Robert when he announced he was going to buy it. $2? They sneered. It must be a scam. But for Robert, that $2 was the only hope he had left. After paying the $2 and receiving a rusty key, he led Julian to the address. It wasn't a house, it was the skeleton of one. Covered in thick vines, its walls cracked and the roof so full of holes it revealed the sky. Fear crept into Robert's heart, but Julian was strangely calm. Dad, there's something inside this house. It sounds like music, Julian said softly. Music? Robert asked, confused. I don't hear anything. It's like a sound hidden inside the walls. I can follow it. Julian led his father to a wall on the ground floor, his small hands tracing its surface. Robert used a hammer he had brought to strike the spot Julian pointed to. The wall gave way, revealing a hidden room no one had known about. Inside lay a sturdy metal box. Robert opened it. There was no money, but instead, a trove of historical documents and secret maps belonging to the renowned architect, who had been the original owner. The $2 house was a gateway to a long-hidden secret. Just when Robert thought their luck had changed, he found another hidden letter in the wall. This house is no longer mine. It belongs to the one who finds its secret, but you must protect it from those who seek it. They hunted me, and now they will hunt you. Who are they? Is the secret just about money and land, or is it something far bigger? Can Julian and Robert escape the danger? And whose voice is Julian hearing every day? The discovery of the architect's will and hidden treasure changed everything. Robert and Julian were no longer poor. With the newfound wealth, Robert got Julian the best medical care, and for the first time in his life, Julian saw the world. Colors, light, and the faces of people he loved. Everything was a beautiful shock. Yet as Robert began to repair House the 27, Julian started to hear new sounds. They were no longer the faint, harmonious music of before, but a low menacing whisper. It seemed to come from the very foundation of the house. One night, while Julian was tracing the strange symbols on the architect's map, the whispers grew louder, clearer. He knows. He's coming, the one who left the shadow. A week later, a man dressed in a dark suit appeared at their door. He was tall, thin, and his eyes held a cold, calculating look. Mr. Robert? He asked with a smooth, unsettling voice. My name is Arthur. I'm a real estate agent, and I have a client who is very interested in this property. I can offer you 100 times what you paid for it. Robert's heart pounded. He knew this wasn't a normal offer. This man's eyes weren't looking at the house. They were looking at him, as if searching for something. He remembered the architect's note. They are coming. I'm sorry, Robert said, his voice firm. The house is not for sale. Arthur's smile didn't reach his eyes. Everyone has a price, Mr. Robert. I suggest you reconsider. My client is very persistent. He then gave Robert a business card and left without another word. The card was completely black with just a single word in silver letters. Shadow. Robert felt a cold dread. He was no longer just a poor man who had gotten lucky. He was now a target. The house, which had been a symbol of hope, was now a dangerous secret. That night, Julian went to his father. Dad, he whispered, I know who that man is. He's the one from the whispers. The shadow. Robert's eyes widened. What did he want? He wants what the whispers are protecting, Julian said. Something bigger than money or land. Something that's still in the house. Robert looked around his home, a place he had paid just $2 for. He knew now that the real price of this house was something far more terrifying. A life-or-death game against a powerful, unknown enemy. The name Shadow echoed in Robert's mind. He knew he had to figure out what was so important about this house before Arthur returned. He went back to the hidden room and spread out the architect's documents and maps on the floor. Julian, with his newly acquired sight, helped him, his eyes scanning the intricate diagrams and coded notes with a focus Robert had never seen. Dad, look at this, Julian said. pointing to a small, hand-drawn symbol on one of the maps. It was a keyhole, hidden within the blueprint of the house's foundation. It's the same symbol that was on the first box. Robert examined the map closely. It wasn't just a floor plan. It was a puzzle. The architect had designed the house with a hidden purpose. A series of secret passages leading to a central point. A vault. The whispers Julian had been hearing, the music, the menacing warnings, they were all tied to a complex security system built into the house itself. A system that only responded to certain frequencies and patterns. That night Arthur returned, but this time with a team. They were quiet, efficient, and they didn't knock. They simply tried to break down the front door. Robert and Julian managed to escape through a secret passage the architect's map had revealed, a small tunnel that led out to the back alley. From a distance, they watched as Arthur's team searched the house, tearing down walls and ripping up floorboards. They weren't looking for the historical documents or the land deeds. They were looking for something else. "He's looking for the vault, Dad," Julian whispered, his face pale in the moonlight. "And I know where it is." He pointed to a specific spot on the map, a point where all the hidden passages converged. Robert realized the architect hadn't just built a house with a secret room. He had built a fortress to protect a powerful secret. The architect's notes revealed he was a visionary, not just an artist. He had discovered a new, clean energy source that could power entire cities. He had created a working prototype and hidden it within the walls of house number 27 to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. Arthur's organization, the Shadow, was not after land or money, but control of the world's energy future. Robert looked at Julian, a boy who had once been blind, but could now see the world's secrets. He realized that the real price of this house wasn't it was the responsibility to protect this secret and finish what the architect had started. Hiding in the shadows of the alley, Robert and Julian watched in horror as Arthur's team tore the house apart. The place that had been their sanctuary was now a battlefield. Arthur, a figure of pure menace, was not there. He was somewhere else, likely orchestrating this destructive symphony from a distance. "He's not a real estate agent, Dad," Julian whispered, his new eyes wide with fear. "He's a hunter, and he wants the heart of the house." Robert knew they couldn't just run. Arthur would find them eventually, and the world's most powerful source of clean energy would fall into the wrong hands. It was up to them, a poor man and his once blind son, to finish what the architect had started. Robert looked at the map again, a daring plan forming in his mind. The architect's notes mentioned a failsafe, a way to activate the energy source from a different location, a final key to lock out anyone unworthy of its power. They went to the old city library. The architect's historical documents mentioned a hidden vault within the library's ancient archives. It was a place only the most dedicated historians knew about. They found the vault hidden behind a false bookshelf, just as the map described. Inside, they found a single, small, glowing cube, the architect's final key. With the cube in hand, they returned to their shattered home. Robert and Julian, using the secret passages, made their way into the very heart of the house, the main vault. It was a place that felt alive, humming with a low energy. At the center of the room, an intricate, crystal-like machine pulsed with a faint blue light. This was the source, the architect's magnificent creation. Just as Julian placed the glowing cube into the machine, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Arthur. "You're smarter than you look, Mr. Robert," Arthur said, his voice cold and calculating. "But you've made a mistake. This machine belongs to me, to Shadow." "It doesn't belong to anyone," Robert said, his voice trembling but firm. "It's for the world," Arthur sneered, his hand reaching for the machine. "The world doesn't deserve it. Only those with power deserve power." Before Arthur could touch it, the machine's light intensified, and the floor began to shake. The architect's final failsafe was activated. The machine was not just a power source. It was also a weapon against those with impure intentions. A powerful energy wave shot out, not harming Robert or Julian, but making Arthur scream in pain as it struck him, a symbol of his darkness. The building itself began to glow. The house, once a sign of their poverty, had become a monument to hope. The energy source within it, activated by Julian's pure heart and Robert's courage, began to power the entire city, providing clean energy for everyone. Arthur and his team were gone, consumed by the light they sought to control. Robert and Julian didn't just find a home, they found a purpose. The $2 house had given them more than money. It had given them a future and a mission to protect the architect's legacy. The whispers Julian heard in the beginning were not of ghosts, but of the house itself, a living entity waiting for its true owners to come home. Part 5, The New Beginning. As the last remnants of Arthur's shadow vanished, the house pulsed with a brilliant, steady blue light. It was no longer a dilapidated structure, but a beacon of hope for the entire city. The machine, now fully activated, hummed with a soft, peaceful sound that resonated through the air. The city's streetlights, which had been flickering, suddenly shone with a new, vibrant energy. Car engines hummed silently. A new dawn had arrived, not just for the city, but for Robert and Julian. The next morning, the house was surrounded by a crowd of people. Journalists, scientists, and government officials all looked at the glowing house in awe. Robert and Julian, tired but filled with a profound sense of purpose, told their story. They presented the architect's documents and the incredible machine at the heart of their home. The world, once skeptical of a $2 house, was now speechless. The technology, a powerful and clean energy source, was a gift to humanity. In the weeks that followed, Robert and Julian became the guardians of the architect's legacy. They didn't sell the house or the technology. Instead, they worked with engineers and scientists to understand and replicate the energy source. The house became a foundation for the future, a place where people from all over the world came to learn about the incredible discovery. Julian, with his new sight, discovered a deeper connection to the house. He could still hear its music, but now it was a symphony of energy, a language only he could understand. He wasn't just a boy who could see. He was the key to unlocking the full potential of the architect's vision. Robert, once a struggling father, found himself in a new role. He wasn't rich in the traditional sense, but he was wealthy in purpose. He oversaw the foundation, ensuring that the energy was used for the good of all people, just as the architect had intended. The house, once a source of fear and danger, was now the center of a new, better world. The story of the $2 house became a legend, a reminder that the true value of anything is not in its price, but in the purpose it serves. It was a beautiful ending to a beautiful story. The $2 house became a legend, a beacon of hope and a testament to the fact that true value is found not in price, but in purpose.